The certification tests really ask you to take a broad overview of the platform and understand how the pieces and the capabilities provided on the platform can be used to fit together in order to deliver a solution for a customer.
Certification proves that an engineer not only has that real-world experience, but also has the technical knowledge to be able to be certified and to operate at the level that is required.
What certification offers that experience doesn't is peace of mind. I'm not only talking about self-confidence, but also for our customers. Having us certified working on their projects really gives them peace of mind that they're working with a partner who really knows what they're doing.
Hi guys, my name's Rahil. I'm from the North Seattle College chapter of GDSC. So today is our third week, and today's session is going to be on cloud computing fundamentals. So just a reminder, 30 Days of Cloud is kind of the culmination of the work of 16 different GDSC chapters, and each one's hosting a session. Today is North Seattle College's session. So here are some important links that you're going to have to use during this process. And the first one is cloudcoach.dev. So Cloud Coach is this super neat website where what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go and press the register button. And this is so that you can get your badges showing up in this super neat leaderboard, which shows off how all of the colleges are doing. Once it loads, yep, here we go. So you can see how each and every one of the colleges are doing. You can see Sheridan College has 20. And this other category is for people whose college isn't one of these or people who are international. So, and for every badge that your college gets, so for every student that earns a badge in your college, you're going to get some cool goodies. So that's super neat. So make sure you definitely register. You can also watch the live stream from here. It's right there. The next link you're going to want to take a look at is this bit.ly link right here. And so if you go there, that's going to take you to this page right here. And this will let you get a subscription for the Quick Labs platform so that you can do the labs and follow along. So you can check here if you have, by clicking on this profile button in the top right corner. If it says monthly subscription right here, then you're good to go and you don't need to do this. If it doesn't, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to press Start Lab. And you're going to just wait until this timer reads under 40 minutes and you'll just hit End Lab then. Until then, I will go over Kumo Space, which is our next link. So Kumo Space is a super neat platform where you can interact with the community. You can see there's 3 people here in lobby 1. And so people here will be here to answer your questions and just to have a conversation. So kind of anyone within this bubble here you can talk to. So that's super duper neat. And you can just click to move around. So if you have any questions, come to Kumo Space and one of these wonderful people over here will help you out. So the other thing is, actually, let's keep going here. And then once the 5 minutes are done, I'll show you something else. So if you're looking for a career in cloud as, maybe a data scientist or data engineer, I think the data, ML, and AI sessions will be super handy and neat to take a look at. And those are on Thursdays. So definitely make sure you look at those if you, have any interest in either any of these jobs. And then if you want to be, handle DevOps on the cloud or be a cloud engineer or a cloud network engineer, you're going to want to take a look at the cloud computing fundamentals sessions, which is today, and the network security and infrastructure sessions, which are Tuesday and Wednesday. And even if these jobs aren't super interesting to you, it's still just a good skill to know, honestly, because you'll find that you'll use this stuff in a lot more applications. So this week's agenda is today we're going to be covering the Cloud Functions Quick Start Command Line Lab and the Kubernetes Engine Quick Start Lab. Tuesday we'll cover some stuff about user authentication. Wednesday we'll cover load balancer, and then Thursday they'll cover some natural language stuff, which is super neat. So another really cool thing about Quick Labs is that you start earning these badges, and these badges show up on your public profile, which I can take you to here. So they'll show up on your public profile right here, and you can send this link to anyone and they'll be able to see how many badges you are. And see how many badges you have, and this can be kind of a good resume builder because it shows that you have some skills in these wide variety of topics. So this just talks a little bit more about the skill badges. You earn them by completing the labs in the different areas, in the different courses, and we call them quests in Quick Labs. And to make your profile public, you're really just going to go to that profile link. I showed you right here, this link here, and there'll just be a make profile public button somewhere on that screen. Other than that, let's see if that lab timer went down. No. All right. So let's bring up Kenna to give you guys a really cool talk about how some of these technologies can be used. So awesome.
All right.
All right.
Hey everyone, can you hear me? Hey everyone, good evening. I hope I'm loud and clear. So what they say, right, that Mondays are usually 50% longer than other day, and I'm not gonna make it any longer for you, just maybe 1 or 2%. But just bear with me. I hope you don't mind. So I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to be back in Seattle, even though it's virtual, but it's always a pleasure. So I lived in Seattle for almost 2 years, and it was absolutely lovely. And though I didn't like weather, but it was amazing. Um, so today I'm gonna talk about Google Cloud for business to accelerate brand growth. Okay. So before I go ahead, this is something about me that I have worked for data scientist and data science consultant for 2 years. Uh, right now, I'm working as a data engineer for my analytics. So what is my analytics and how Google Cloud is helping my analytics, right? So my analytics is a growth automation platform. And when you start your business, whether it's online or offline, there are a few things that you need to take care of. It's one thing is inventory, and other thing is that you want your brand to reach out to maximum people. And my analytics help you with that. So first, with the inventory, when you are working with your inventory, you don't want to be overstock, understock. You want it to be just right, right? If it's understock, then if customers place an order, you won't be able to fulfill that orders. And if it's overstock, you are just wasting your money. So my analytics help businesses with their inventory optimization. We predict that you need exit this amount in your inventory in upcoming days. So for example, last month, October was all about Halloween. People started looking for Halloween costume, Halloween candies. So if your business into that particular thing, then we would tell you that, okay, in upcoming days, you need that much stock into an inventory so you can fulfill the orders of the customers. Now, coming on to second thing, brand advertisement. So how we do it, we use the keyword optimization. So when people look for anything like Halloween costumes, so this year is all about Squid Game, so they start looking for a Squid Game costume or Squid Game candy or kind of thing. We use that keyword and we would put your brand advertisement onto their page. So you'll be able to reach out to maximum people.
Hey, Kenna, sorry to interrupt, but could you make the presentation full screen really quick so it's a little bit more visible on screen? Yeah. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, so I was just saying that's how we help them with the brand optimization. Now, how we are using Google into our my analytics. And when I say that we are helping all these sellers, we use a lot of data analytics. And by data analytics, I mean we use a lot of tools. We use a lot of new tools now and then, and we have also tried a lot of tools that's already been in market for a longer time. But among all these, Google Cloud is one of the tools that we rely on the most. And this is the basic infrastructure, or I would say this is the service and tools from Google Cloud that we use most. It's one of Compute Engine, Google Cloud Storage, and Google Cloud Functions. So in any typical organization, you would see that there are three environments: development environment, staging or testing environment, and lastly, it's your production environment. Google Cloud helps us to differentiate this three environment by letting us create three different projects. So in my analytics, we have three different projects for three different environments, and we work on this project at the same time. So let me start with the Google Cloud Function. Google Cloud Function is basically your serverless. It provides a serverless executing environment. So suppose if you are writing a code on any IDEs, maybe it's a Visual Studio Code or Jupyter Notebook. So you have to install it, and when you write your code, all things that should be taken care of in the back would be taken care of by these tools, right? These IDEs. So it's kind of that Google Cloud Function lets you write a code and you don't have to worry about the server or scaling. Like it lets you, if there is a request for a one request or there is a 300 request, a Google Cloud Function would take care of it. In my analytics, we work with a lot of APIs that Amazon provides us. So they have Seller API, they have Finance API, they have Advertisement API. So we have Node.js code and Google Cloud Functions that trigger when an event occurs in API. We capture the data from API and then we store into a destination. For here, example, it's Snowflake, but we have a different storage where we store our API's data. So talking about storage, we use Google Cloud Storage. There are different three kind of storage: persistent disk, file store, and cloud storage. So persistent disk is basically a block storage, or you can say it's kind of a USB drive. You can attach it and detach it according to your needs. It also allows you to work with the size, your location, and availability as well. File store is a kind of a store. It's a kind of a network store. So if you have application or multiple application which access to a same disk, then you should use a Firestore. And lastly, the cloud storage that we use at My Analytics. So after getting data from API, we store into different buckets. That cloud storage allow us to differentiate this data into buckets. So we have one bucket for advertisement, we have one bucket for our clients' data, and we have a different bucket for our finance data as well. And again, the most amazing thing I would say is that it allows us to even define the permissions. Or like we have three different teams: software teams, data engineering teams, and data science team. All those teams, they don't need to access all this data. There are some sensitive data that only should be accessed by a particular team. So you can define your provide permission to a particular team into cloud storage. Again, in cloud storage, there are three different kind of storage: standard storage, nearline, and cold line. We mostly use standard storage because we access data very frequently, almost every day. And if you have a data that you use very frequently, you should keep it into the standard. Now, nearline is kind of a storage where you only keep data which you only access once in a month, kind of your business report or any report that you only access once in a month. And the last is a cold line, which is a very less you would be using, maybe like once in a year. So your backup file or archive file would go into that. So as I told, we are mostly using standard, but we have archive data into cold line storage as well. Next is a virtual machine instance. How we're using it is, so before that, virtual machine instance is a kind of your second computer. But here you have a flexibility of defining what kind of operating system you want, whether you want Linux or Windows Server. Or it will also allow you to choose how powerful CPU you want to be, and where you want to be. Like you can also define zone or region to it. So let me tell you the story. So when I joined My Analytics, I was given a task, and where I had to try new tools. So I have MacBook with M1 chip. So these new tools, they don't support this M1 chip. So I luckily we had this shared workstation, which is a virtual machine instance. It's a Linux server. So I installed it on that, and without any interruption, I was able to complete my work. So that's about that. And other than these three services, we use this for other services as well. Like we use Google SQL Server. So every time we get data into like object, we store into a Google storage. But we also have a data that we need in a tabular form. So Google SQL Server helps us with because it provides us the relational database management. So it's really helpful in that. Now, Google Kubernetes engine is we have few applications that we have deployed on it, so we don't have to worry about our operating system or anything. And Google Firewall rules, because we have a different teams for different environments, and every environment has a different rules, like where we want the traffic to be routed. So we have firewall rules for three different environments as well. And lastly, the Google Secret Manager. It's one of the coolest I would say that Google Cloud Service provide. So if you have any sensitive data or API keys or any password, you can store into it. So we have a lot of API keys and we use it into many applications. So it should be accessed by all, but it should not be easily stolen. So we store our API keys into Google Secret Manager. And yeah, using these all tools and services by Google Cloud, we are helping all these businesses and sellers to grow themselves. So that's all from my side. And thank you so much.
Oops, sorry. Thank you so much, Kenna. That was a fantastic presentation. I really learned a lot. So guys, by now your timer should be below 40 minutes. So what you're gonna wanna do is press the end lab button really quick and just submit that. You can put something in the comment box. It doesn't really matter. You have to submit. No, maybe. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you just have to press there something, and then you just press submit. And then you might have to refresh or log out and log back in, but your monthly subscription should show up now. So from there, you're going to want to go to this Hey Student link. It's go.quicklabs.com/heystudent. Yep. It's on the screen right now. You can see it. If you can copy that into your search and go there, then you're going to want to press the enroll button right here on the one computing fundamentals. It'll take you here. You can just press the cancel button here because you have the subscription. So we can just get straight into labs. So you're going to want to scroll down underneath this welcome to course. And if there's like an enroll button that's here, you're going to want to press that. I think there might be one. But so then you're going to want to scroll down to use Google Cloud to build your apps. It'll probably be collapsed. So you're going to want to expand it. And you're going to want to click on our first lab, which is the Cloud Functions Quick Start command line. You can see there's a whole bunch of other stuff here, and I strongly recommend you watch a lot of the videos. They have a lot of good content, or do some of the other labs and the quizzes. There's just a lot of good information in here. So we're going to do this lab though. So this lab, see, and then you're going to want an incognito window open just because you're going to have to make an account. You're going to have to log into a special account that the lab generates for you. And it gets kind of weird and overlaps with your real Google, like your Chrome setup and stuff if you do it in a non-incognito window. So I would just open an incognito window. It makes a big difference. Once you're here, press Start Lab. Then you're going to press Use Subscription. And then you're going to want to click this Open Google Console button and copy this link here and paste it into your incognito window. Yep, awesome. Okay. And that, oh, oopsies, I opened a private window in the wrong thing. Opened it in Tor on accident. That is why that was the wrong language. Okay, here we go. So, sign in. You're going to want to copy this username right here. If it's not already in here, just copy it, paste it in. You're going to want to copy this password. And press the accept button. Just agree to terms of service, agree and continue. And then here, if you're not already in this project, I know sometimes this window opens up and you're not in a project, you're going to want to click on this and then just select the project that matches this project ID right here. All right, so let's, so this just goes over kind of opening that. Okay, so let's create a function. Okay, here we go. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open the Cloud Shell, which you can do from right there. I just want to check real quick. Is this text visible? I'll zoom in anyways here. And kind of collapse this a little bit. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit, no, I can't do that. I have to collapse this too then. Okay, hopefully it's a little bit easier to see. I feel like it's kind of small, but I like to just collapse that navigation menu because it gets in the way a lot. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do here is you can just press the, it's kind of small. Okay. Let me see. Just zoom in more, I guess. Is that better, Kristen? Okay, awesome. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna the first thing we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to create a directory. So how you do that is you can either copy this command here, the mkdir command, or you can type it in. I kind of recommend that you type stuff in just because it gets into your brain a little bit better when you do that. So those are underscores, not hyphens. Okay, and then you're going to want to just cd into there. So cd means current directory, and so you're just kind of moving your terminal into there. Awesome. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is nano index.js. And again, all of these commands are right here, so you can just copy them instead of typing if you prefer that. So nano is just, it's like a kind of like basic text editor. And so you're going to want to copy this. I'm not going to type all of this out because it's a lot and that would take a while. So you're just going to want to copy that and paste it into here. Control-C, Control-V, or just press the copy button and Control-V. And then you can just press Control-X, press Y to save, Enter to say that, yes, I do want to save it in index.js. And now you're good to go. You have your index.js set up. And so what this is doing, I think, is yeah, so I think this is just going to print hello world somewhere. Yeah. So what you're going to do from here is you're going to want to use the following command to create a new cloud bucket for your function. Oh, okay, right. So this is just setting up what the function does, and the function just prints hello world. Okay, so we're going to want to type gsutil mb-p. What's your project ID? And your project ID is, that is right here. That's going to be annoying to keep scrolling. Hopefully we don't have to do that again. I'm going to paste that right here so I don't have to scroll again. But I think when you're in full screen, the project ID just kind of hovers here. So that's a little bit more convenient for sure. I think we're here. Yeah. Okay. So gsutil mb-p, paste in your project ID, gs:// and your bucket name needs to be something globally unique. So just come up with something just kind of random. So like I will just call mine like Rise presentation bucket. That's kind of long. We'll just call it like 30 days bucket. You're gonna have to click the authorize button. All right, awesome. Looks like it was available. Okay, so you're just gonna want to press the check my progress button. And if the check my progress button did not show up green, take a look here and make sure that it actually created the bucket. If it didn't, we might have used a name that already exists. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna deploy our function. So to do this, we're gonna want to say gcloud functions deploy hello world --stage bucket, and our bucket name is, for me again, 30 days bucket. Yours is going to be something different. --trigger topic hello world --runtime Node.js 8, and that's just saying to run the function in Node. Okay, I think you can ignore this warning for now, and then so that could take a second here. Oh, still going. While that happens, let's take a look what's gonna happen next. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know how long this is gonna take. I've done this lab before. It didn't take too long, so hopefully it happens kind of soon. While that's happening, I think there's a place in our dashboard where we can actually take a look and see if our bucket was made. I am not 100% sure where that is, but we can take a look for that while this is kind of doing its thing. I would imagine it might be in cloud storage. Yeah, so what you're gonna do is sorry, at the very beginning, you have to make a Quick Labs profile. Yeah, so you're gonna make a Quick Labs profile, and then you're gonna go to the bit.ly link. Let me see if I can get that copied for you. Yeah. So you're gonna go to that link and then just run the lab for 5 minutes and end it, and that'll give you a 30-day subscription. And then from there, you're gonna go to the Hey Students link to open up this And then you're going to want to click enroll on the first on the first course, and then find this quick start command line lab. And then you just start it with the subscription. Oh, okay, it happened. Awesome. There's also probably someone in Kumo Space, I think, who can help you get caught up if you're still a little bit behind on that. This is big enough, right? Yeah, okay. Awesome. So we're going to verify the status of the function. So we're going to do gcloud functions describe hello world. Okay, so this is just going to give us a whole bunch of information about the function, like the name of the function, the runtime. Remember, we specified it's Node.js 8. You can see that right here. I think this is when it last updated. So there's a whole bunch of information that we don't really need to go into right now. And if the status is active, which I am not. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, that's a status active right there. So that's awesome. That means that our function is good to go. You're going to press check my progress. And if that didn't work, I would make sure that you have everything right here. Your bucket name is correct, and you've typed everything else here correctly. And also just make sure that your function, your index.js file, has the correct contents. Awesome. So we get to test the function now. I believe this tests it. Data execution ID. Yeah, so we can see that ID is exactly what we were looking for, something like this. So that's awesome. And then we can go take a look and read the log history with this command here. I'll type it out. So gcloud functions logs read hello world. So okay, awesome. So that pulls up the logs, and we can see that it's scrolled in a little bit, so it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see that it is indeed the same. This is kind of formatted more like a table versus this is not formatted like a table. I'm guessing some update just happened and they changed that. But yours should look something like mine or like this. And the logs can take some time to appear, so if it's not there, don't get too worried. Just test again in a little bit. And let's take this quiz really quick while people are waiting for their logs to appear. Below are multiple choice questions to reinforce. Okay, so serverless lets you write and deploy code without the hassle of managing the underlying infrastructure. Someone in chat want to say true or false? All right, I think that is a true. Okay, awesome. Great. So you should see here now, it should say 100 out of 100. If it doesn't, that means you missed one of these steps. You can go take a look, and you can press check my progress anywhere if you need to. And that is great. Oh, I just realized there's probably a stream delay, right? So yeah, okay. All right. So from here, we're gonna press, sorry, I don't know why I'm scrolling up. If it's not showing up on the side, it shows up at the top. So just scroll up, and then press end lab and submit. And you can put some additional comments just because the people who do these actually do read the comments. So you can say, awesome lab, worked great. Or if you had any difficulties or any confusions, you can put those there too. So you can close this incognito window now because we're done with that, and open a new one You're going to want to split screen it too. And we're going to move on to the next lab, which is the Kubernetes engine quick start. I believe Kenna briefly mentioned Kubernetes. But for a brief overview of Kubernetes, it provides I'm just reading this aloud basically, but it provides a managed environment for deploying, managing, and scaling your containerized applications using Google infrastructure. The Kubernetes engine environment consists of multiple machines, specifically compute engine instances, which is kind of like a Google thing. They have something called Google Compute Engine, and then grouped them to form a container cluster. In this hands-on lab, we will make containers and we will deploy them with Google Kubernetes engine. So you're going to want to press this. It's the same process here. Start lab, use subscription. Same thing here. You can open it in a new tab and then copy this URL, or you can just do the copy link address, paste that in here. I'm going to copy this project ID again over to here, so I don't have to scroll all the way back up later. If it's not, oops, let's make this bigger. Okay, so if this email address is not here already, you know where to find it. It's right here. Next, copy that password, paste it in, accept. Same exact process. They just make you redo the whole thing because it's a fresh account. You're gonna want to agree. Awesome. So let's see. And this again is just going over how you sign in to the lab account. And let's set a default compute zone. Awesome. So your compute zone is an approximate region. Okay. So here, oh, it's so tiny. Okay. So here you can see a list of your compute zones. So North America. And so you can see all the compute zones in North America. So I believe the one I'm going to want to use is probably this one right here, US West A, because that's kind of close to where I live. Yeah, Oregon's pretty close. Yeah. Okay. So, and you can just find that list over in your compute zone. I guess actually for this lab, they want us to just use US Central. So let's do that then. But you can definitely, if you need to set up your own Kubernetes cluster, use whatever region is most convenient for you. It should all work the same. I think their copy paste commands probably just have that already in there. So it'll just make our job a little bit easier. Okay. So, oops, did I not copy that? Copy. Okay. Enter. We're going to press the authorize button. And it should have updated our compute zone to say US Central. I wonder if there's a way to check and see if that really worked. Yeah, okay, there you go. So you can see, if you type in gcloud config list compute zone, you can see what compute zone you just set, so you can confirm that that command really worked. Okay, so create a GKE cluster. A cluster consists of at least one cluster master machine and multiple worker machines called nodes. And nodes are compute engine virtual machine instances that run the Kubernetes processes necessary to make them part of the cluster. So you kind of have like one brain behind multiple computers, kind of. This is how Kubernetes works, I believe. And I don't think cluster names need to be globally unique, so that's much more convenient than the buckets. We can just go and create a cluster, and we'll just call it 30 days again. Oh, right. I am blind. They have to start with a 30 days. There we go. I should probably actually wear my glasses, but it's all good. It has to start with an alpha. It has to start with a letter. So you can't just have it be a number at the beginning. And that's in this note here. I just didn't read it. So I imagine that this is going to take a while. Yep, it says it's going to take a while. While that is happening, I guess you guys can get caught up if you're behind on the previous lab or anything like that. Read ahead a little, see what we're gonna do. So after creating your cluster, you need authentication credentials to interact with it. To authenticate the cluster, run the following command. Okay, and then you can now deploy a containerized application. I wonder if this link has some neat reading for what that really means. Oh, it does. Okay, maybe we can just like read this a little bit while we wait for that to happen. Okay, so Google Kubernetes engine provides a managed environment for deploying. I feel like we just read this. Yeah, we did. Okay. So GKE clusters are powered by the Kubernetes open source cluster management system. Kubernetes provides the mechanisms through which you interact with your cluster, and you can use its commands and resources to deploy and manage your applications, perform administrative tasks, set policies, and monitor the health of your deployed workloads. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so Google Cloud also provides you like a load balancer for your compute engine instances. Lets you set up pools and automatic scaling, automatically repairing your nodes, upgrading their software, and logging and monitoring. So that's super neat and will make your life a lot easier, I think, if you have to launch an application. Oh, we're good. All right, we can keep going. Awesome. Let's see here. Okay. Let's check our progress. Awesome. Okay. So if that didn't show up, I would take a look at what this says, see if there's any fatal error. If there is, maybe see how you can correct it. Maybe maybe you were like me and gave it an illegal name. So just take a look at that and make sure you didn't give it an illegal name. Shoot, let me actually remember what we named it. 30 days, that aired out. So instead we went with Cloud 30 days. Okay, awesome. So G-Cloud, so we're setting up authentication credentials for the cluster. So G-Cloud container clusters, get credentials, Cloud 30 days. I feel like that's correct. Awesome. Okay. So this is the expected output. We can see that we did get that. If you didn't get that, I would check your cluster name and make sure it is correct, and check this to make sure your cluster actually says status running. Okay, awesome. So we can now deploy an application for our cluster. So Google is providing us a Hello App container image for this lab. So that's super neat. I'm guessing it's probably just a Hello World app. Just gonna copy that and paste that in. And it says created. Great. Okay, that's exactly what we want to see. Okay, so this Kubernetes command creates a deployment object that represents hello server. In this case, image specifies the container image to deploy. So I think this is kind of similar to Docker in that you kind of specify what goes into your containers and what with some, I don't know, you have like some mechanism for specifying your containers and stuff, and then you push them to Kubernetes, and Kubernetes just creates the thing for you from your image in this case. So we can check if this worked out. Awesome. So to create a Kubernetes service, which is a Kubernetes resource that lets you expose your application to external traffic, run the following kubectl expose command. So you're going to want to run. Oh, also, if you select anything here, it just copies it, just in case you needed to know that. So you're going to do kubectl expose deployment hello server dash dash type equals load balancer dash dash port 80. That's 9099. Oh my gosh, typing is hard. Okay, 8080. There we go. So just missed a space there. Whoa, it says exposed. I believe this is. This is correct. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just checking to make sure I wasn't supposed to name something. Okay, awesome. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to use the cloud 30 days name in there. Yes, words are hard too. I don't need to copy that as a small command. We can just kubectl get service. Awesome. I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger so we get maybe a better view of that. Yes. Okay. So name, hello server, age 34 seconds. Type, load balancer, Kubernetes. External IP is pending. I think we're gonna want that external IP. Yeah, so let's just run this command again and see. Okay, awesome. So we got this external IP now. So, well, okay, that works out. I just told you how to copy. So you're going to do that exactly. You're just going to select this external IP here. You're going to copy. To view the application, you're going to want to go to http:// paste in your external. Oh, I didn't copy it right. What? Didn't I copy it? Copied, right? Yes, there we go. Copied. Okay. On 8080. Okay. Awesome. So says hello world. That's cool. Our Kubernetes cluster is up. And yep. Okay. So we can check and make sure we did that properly. Yay. If this is not showing up, check and make sure your cluster is actually up. If your cluster is up, it should show up here. And you can just see the schematic, like the kind of template for the URL here. You would just paste the external IP in for where it says brackets external IP. Okay, so you're going to want to copy. So now we're going to delete the cluster. So you're going to want to copy that command, paste it in, and then just write in your cloud 30 days or whatever your bucket, whatever your cluster name was. I don't know. I'm still thinking about buckets, but I'm going to press Y. Oh, and you can see it says in US Central A, and that's the same zone that we had set earlier. So that's cool. It's kept track of it. And it's just deleting the cluster now, and I think that's everything. Once this is done, I think That should be good. Wow, this is taking a while. Should we go back to reading? I feel like this is too detailed for just reading like that. So we put a load balancer on, so maybe we can take a look at what that is. Oh, actually, I think someone has that this week. Yeah, so you guys should watch the thing on load balancing, so that you can kind of understand what this really is and what it does. Oh, what has been my favorite part about 30 Days of Cloud? That's a good question. I think honestly, just learning new technologies is always fun. Always feels a little bit powerful when you learn something new and you can actually see it do something, which I think is cool about the labs because you can see that it is really there. I think also putting this together was fun, but yeah, I think there's just so much to learn, which is always cool. So I think that might be one of my favorite parts is just learning a bunch of new stuff. Awesome. So we're done. It's deleted the cluster. You can just go ahead and check your progress. Make sure you really did delete the cluster. And what are we missing here? Check my progress. Okay, there we go. So you want this lab to say 100 out of 100. And you're good to go now. The lab will show up with a check after you press this end lab button, submit. Same thing, give them a star rating, let them know how the lab was. You can just say, like, I don't know, whatever your experience with the lab was. What would I say is the most challenging thing I've done so far? In relation to the 30 Days of Cloud, I think a couple of these labs were a little bit hard to wrap my head around. So this lab, the network and HTTP load balancer lab, I really struggled with just wrapping my head around, I guess, how to understand what was really going on and what all the commands did. And what area do I want to improve on? I think just overall, I'm a little bit lacking on the DevOps side, so I definitely want to learn more about how all of that works and how things are kind of handled on the cloud and on servers and stuff. So I think that would be what I would want to do in the future. Yeah, I think that's what I would want to improve is just more knowledge about how things are handled on servers and stuff, especially DevOps. Um, so I think that's everything we have for today. So thank you all for coming by and staying this whole time. Really appreciate it. It was fun. And have a good rest of your day or evening, depending on your time zone, I suppose. And thank you. Bye.